everybody, good morning and welcome to Pushing Pixels. I'm your host, Sam Mestis. It's pretty early in the morning, but we're going to do this tutorial we do in my advanced Photoshop class. This is for my students so they can go back and review, but please enjoy. Let's get started. We're going to make this little project here. This is a Corey Barker project out of Badass Photoshop Effects. I believe that's what that book is called. Corey does great stuff, and I love to use some of his tutorials in my class because they work out great. But like usual, we're going to throw our own stink on it and kind of make it our own at the end here. So let's, I don't know what that's about. Let's throw that in the trash. So let's get started. We're going to make this thing. Let me hide it for you here. First thing it starts with is this guy right here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a pattern out of this guy. We're going to define a pattern. So if you go up to Edit, Define Pattern, I'm going to put guy catching ball. If I can learn how to type, it's pretty early. There we go. And there we go. My pattern is now defined and it's in my PAT file. I'm going to close this. I don't need this anymore because I'm going to put him in this image right here. So we're going to merge these images together and make something kind of cool. First thing we got to do now on this image is make a new layer. So I'm going to make a brand new layer down here, and I'm going to call this stripes. Yeah, we'll call that stripes. Then I'm going to grab my marquee tool, my square marquee tool, and my rectangular, and with that selected, I'm going to start dragging down some selections, and I'm going to make them kind of wide. I'm going to try one there, and then holding down my shift key. By the way, I should turn those hotkeys on so you can see those. And that's that. Don't need that. There we go. Try that again. And hold on my shift key, and I'm going to pull this one up here, say, right? And maybe a thin one right here. And then on the other side of his head, I'm going to bring down another big one there, like that. And then maybe one up from the bottom. And then maybe one up from the top. Still holding down my shift key to join them. And then maybe make some graduated ones. Have them get a little bit smaller as this goes by, just like that. Perfect. Okay, so I got all my selection sets built now, and I'm going to fill those with gray. I'm going to hit Shift Delete, and that'll pull up the fill command, and I'm going to pick 50% gray. And if I click that, there they are. I have them all on now one layer. I'm going to deselect, Command D, and I got all my stripes on one layer. All right. Next thing we got to do is we're going to put them on a slant, and if I pull up the other one, you can see they're kind of slanted. Let me turn off that water effect. You can see they're all sort of slanted, which is kind of cool. And so let's get on that. We'll try that now. Let me hide that again. And we're going to do a free transform. Command T is the free transform command, and then we're going to right click on the inside and hit skew. And when you do that, you can grab this top center one and slope them over. Now, I'm actually using this sort of slope from his helmet to his shoulder here as my guide. And that's actually not too bad. And then I'm going to go back to regular free transform. So if I hit Command T again, I go to regular free transform, and I'm going to stretch these out just a little bit. So they're just around there, like so. That is not too bad. Awesome. Alright, so here's what we're going to do now. Now that we got our stripes and kind of where we want them, I'm honestly, we'll keep them for now. They're not that great, but you know what? I'm going to actually redo that whole thing again because I'm not that excited about how I did that. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try it again. Maybe get a little bit wider ones. I'm still holding in my shift key. And let's see here. Let's try this guy there. Maybe a little bit wider this time. Yeah, this might work a little bit better. One, make some those little graduated ones again. Perfect. I'm going to refill with gray. All right, now that's not too bad. That's a little bit better. Free transform, skew again. I'm going to slide those over just a bit. Yeah, that's a little bit better. That actually works out a lot better. All right, so we're going to go with that. Perfect. All right, now that pattern we defined earlier is in our PAT file, and we can overlay a pattern on these stripes. So let's do that. Double-click your layer. Double-click your stripes layer, and go to Pattern Overlay right there. And the pattern I defined is right here. It's in this little pull down here. Obviously there it is, right there. That's the last one I made. And why don't we scale this at about, I think we scaled it at about 110-ish, something like that. Don't worry about the watermarks. We're just doing this for practice. I might scaled at 110, maybe 115. Yeah, 115 works too. All right, so 115, and you could reach inside your canvas and move this guy around wherever you want. And I'm going to try to put him about right there. That looks pretty good. Not too bad. Let me click on that so you can take a better look at it. Nice, just a simple pattern overlay. No big deal. One of the other things we're going to do though on this, we're going to go back into that, double click your layer again. We are going to apply a bevel emboss on this. And wow, right out of the bat, that one's not that bad looking. That looks pretty good. I'm going to keep that. Let's talk about what it is. It's a 74 depth, size 1. We're getting this nice little, if I turn it off, you can see kind of what's happening there. It's putting this nice white highlight on it. So 75 depth, smooth, inner bevel, size 1, angle 114. I'll probably do 115 to make it even. And let's do 30 for altitude. Nice even numbers. And I have the screen and the shadow opacity set to 63. Seems a little low, but it'll be fine. Alright, so there you go. Inner bevel smooth, 74, 1, 115 for angle, 30 for altitude, 63 and 63 on the opacity. Not too bad. That came out kind of cool. Let's do now a drop shadow. We'll give this a little bit of volume here. And you can see it drops, just the default drop shadow is pretty nice. I'm going to keep that as well. That's not too bad looking. I have 45 for opacity, or 40, let's just say 50. How about that? 50 for opacity. 153 for angle. Set your distance to 17 and your size to 18. And there's my drop shadow. It's really to taste. You can pretty much do any drop shadow you wanted to, within reason, of course. You know, your discretion. Not too bad though. That already looks pretty slick. All right, awesome. You can see how fast this tutorial goes. It's pretty quick. And we're not using that. And let's do some of this. Let's do some of this text work right here. So I'm going to use a font. I'm going to start a new. I don't even need to start a new layer. I'm going to go to my text tool and type. I don't know what font this is. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to keep it. Something square, nothing serifed, and put DUE. If I can learn how to type. THREAT, dual threat. Let's see how I did that. Yeah, that'll work. Almost the same font it looks like. Alright, so I'm going to put dual threat over here. And you can see I used a green for this, so I'm going to go back to my text tool and just select the green, or select the word threat, and change it to a green. And that's pretty cool. And I'm going to free transform it and kind of size it up a little bit. I'm holding down my shift key when I do this. And I'm going to skew it as well while I'm in free transform. Some of the options are deselected for you, but it will let you use skew. And I'm going to grab the top there. And try to keep the same angle as those so they all sort of look uniform. And it's still live text, even though I've skewed it, it is still live text. I can go back and edit it and whatnot. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to double that layer because I want it somewhere else too. So I'm going to hit Command J, and now I have 2 layers of the text. And I'm going to drag this one down right below. I'm going to drag it down below the stripes. All right, my copy, and then I'm going to free transform it up, and I'm going to scale it up quite a bit, and it may even go off the sheet a little bit, which is kind of cool. And I'm going to turn the opacity down to like 20, something really low. All right, 20 will work. I think 20 is going to work. Perfect. Drag that up just a little bit. All right, not too bad. All right, what are we missing here? We're missing all of that. Did I close that document? I didn't close that document, did I? I guess I did close that document. There it is. So what are we missing here? We got the text in. We got all that stuff in. We cancel that. Oh yeah, let's do the water effect. Open up that image I gave you of water. Let me go find it. This guy right here. There he is. So we're gonna put like a water. We're gonna treat this kind of like it was a postcard or whatnot, and we need this water. And I don't need it in this current state though. I do need it black and white though. Command Shift U will turn it black and white. And not a great black and white, so let's level this a bit. Command L for leveling. And I'm going to drag, you can see from the histogram it's mostly gray. So I'm going to drag the black slider over because water droplets are just basically highlights and shadows. And I'm going to drag the white slider over just a little to give me some highlights. I don't want them to be too blown out. That's not too bad. Black set at 72, white set at 186. I'm going to hit that. That'll work. And holding down my Shift key, I'm going to grab my water layer and drag it over to my document. And I'm going to close this. I don't need this anymore. I'm not going to save that. And I'm going to drag my water all the way to the top. And I don't remember what overlay we set on, but I think it was overlay. It may have been soft light as well. Let's find out. Let's look at the other one. Let's see what we did. It is overlay, so we're going to go with overlay. Awesome. All right, so going back, set our blend mode to overlay on our water layer, and it's a little heavy-handed, and we're going to thin that out just a little bit. So if you, on your water layer, I put water, add a layer mask down here, third icon from the left, layer mask, and there it is right there. And on that layer mask, with that layer mask selected, because it's got brackets around it, we're going to have to filter, render, and actually before we do that, get out of there, hold down your Alt key, your Alt Option key. Keep holding that down. Now go to Filter, Render, Clouds, and there you go. And now it kind of thins it out a little bit. It's not so heavy, and I'm going to try the other option just to see what it looks like. Render, Clouds. And maybe we'll do that one instead. Don't hold down your Option key. Either one to get you there, but this one's a little bit less abrasive. All right, so we got our water on there now. Looks pretty good. One last thing is we're going to tone this a special color. If you make sure your top layer water selected and go down to the fourth icon right down here, and you're looking for something called Color Lookup right there. And if you click that, it's going to put an adjustment layer at the very top. Right? If it's not at the top, just drag it up. And under Load 3D LUT, click that pull down and load Tension Green, and you're gonna watch this thing pop. And we're gonna change the blend mode of this to overlay, I believe. Yeah, overlay, I believe was the blend mode I used. It was. There we go. So overlay was the and maybe turn it down just a little bit. It really does help those colors pop a lot, though. Much better. I'm going to turn it down to say 60, just to crank it down a bit. It's not so abrasive. All right, looking pretty good. And that's pretty much it, everybody. Really quick, really simple. Just a few layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whole layers to build this cool little project. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. And if you missed anything, just stop it and go back and watch it again. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.